to Traveler. Yes, welcome back.
Thanks.
We have, first of all, you will note the fancy sector picture that you didn't have before. It is the same picture except that I colored it.
Now in colors.
Yes, and so according to the galactic authorities, which remain extremely vague in the rules, we have these designations where white has no special reason for travelers to be cautious, besides just normal problems of breaking the law or otherwise, or dangerous animals or something like that. Ordinary dangers, but not the nothing like this is a bad place. Yellow is definitely traveler, be cautious, beware of, unfriendly cultures or of, particularly strange customs that will sacrifice you, or very stern laws where, you spit on the sidewalk and all of a sudden you are signed up for 10 years in military service or something like that. Or particularly weird or strange laws about commerce that don't apply elsewhere all of a sudden. Weird things that are illegal. Red, this is a bad, dangerous place. We don't go there. You shouldn't. That is the designation. So you have already been to Abraxas, and also I think you even went over here next. I can't remember. Maybe you stayed there. And so Nimbus first, yeah. Abraxas and then Nimbus. But the point is that they are colored yellow, and now you know that, of course, it has this military dictatorship that sees it perfectly reasonable to sign you up. This out here is actually fairly isolated, that the sectors around this one are either empty or very close to empty. So that means that this is way out on the fringe and edge. And that this is apparently treated as something of a buffer area. Maybe that's why civilization as you know it has friendly ties there, but also doesn't really care what they do. Just it kind of is a good way to keep away. So you, of course, are traveling straight into the away. And you are bypassed this little section here, and you have headed to Xander's. Now, given all the time that your characters had on the way, you should probably take time now to ask me anything about any of this. You have this map available to you. You have actually had it from the beginning, but now you have been in the middle of it, and it will be far more easy for your characters to think about relevant questions. I'm ready to play, but I thought it would be a good idea for Mike and Jones to catch up with what they would reasonably have wanted to learn about for the sector or for the, for any of the systems.
Might we do flashbacks in later scenes? If, I really should have asked about this.
Well, you can always do that.
Yeah.
I just thought it would be a good idea.
Yes.
I just don't remember any question right now.
Okay. So I also said how you would be making enormous amounts of money, and I went and looked through the rules again, and I was relieved to discover that a great deal of that pays for the transit.
Good.
Yes. So you are not filthy rich. But I decided, or rather, I plead forgiveness for not calculating precisely how much that was.
Totally okay.
But you have enough to get by. You're not destitute. It's just that all those zeros basically go away.
And this all happened randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got really lucky.
It was particularly good for Taggart. He was able to set up that trip, and excellent. this looks legitimate.
Yeah.
And,
definitely.
so now, of course, remember, you did travel off the trade routes.
Yeah.
So it's not unheard of to do that, but it's obviously somebody, if they found out about the trip, would be a little curious as to, you know, why didn't you go through, you know, the trade routes through the, you know, decent places first. So to let you know about Xander's though, because I think I mentioned a little bit about this last time because you did approach. Xander's is about 2/3 the size of Earth, or yeah, the planet system is, and it has no base for ships, which I think is why you would have to have been in that line of ships and then probably do either shuttles or some other technology to the planet. It does have technology 9, which is actually about the same as Abraxas was.
Okay.
So it's nice, solid science fiction, well above what modern Earth. We're 6 in modern Earth. Actually, we're 6 for 1977. maybe we're 6.5,
yeah.
6.9, you know.
We have less else now.
Yeah, well, if you look at the little computer things, our computers are a couple of tiers up from what they conceived of. But the point here is that it's got only a trace atmosphere, so therefore you simply don't you just don't go outside. I mean, it's not even, you can't even just wear a breather. It's practically it's not vacuum, but it's close. You would die, and so you would die of exposure without special gear. And so there's hundreds of millions of people living here. So it's very much a system, I think, of tubes and pods and covers and undergrounds and stuff like that, but with a whole ecology in there. So it's non-agricultural, and there seems to be a great deal of hard-working people with perhaps too many hours and low status. So the place seems to run on a certain amount of oppression. Any other questions about Xander's?
The A designates a high-class spaceport, doesn't it? Starport.
The A is, yes, it is a very nice starport. So there's no scout, there's no base, which is different. So I guess I wasn't thinking clearly there. But yes, the starport is excellent. And it is a civil service bureaucracy, so that's why we wait in line. The planet next to it, or the 2 planets next to them, are Lincoln and Pulaski. Both of them are similar in size. They have thin and tainted, very thin and tainted, or a thin atmosphere. Xander's has no water, or it's all either frozen or solid in some chemical form that isn't fluid, or there's just none. And the others have only a little. So neither of these is really a great place for life, although Pulaski has it's possible to do agriculture, and they've only got Tech 3. So my take is that they found a way to do agriculture, but everybody has to wear like masks and stuff like that to go out and work there. And it's much more of a labor planet in a sort of unconstructed way. Lincoln and Pulaski both have Law 4. Xander's has Law 5. So that means they're a little permissive. I'll have to double check, but I think you can walk around with a gun.
Okay. The small one, I guess.
Yeah, I'll take a quick check on the law.
Yeah, Abraxas was Law 9.
Right, yeah. That was it. You can't even carry a knife. And for 5 here on Xander's, yeah, personable pistols and revolvers are prohibited if they're concealable. But you could, for example, You could, for example, put a rifle on your back and go hunting or walk, and stuff like that. Think of it as it's Finland. You can Texas. You can put Texas now is like 2 or something, but the sense of a lot of places in the States, there's nothing wrong with putting a rifle in the rack of your truck and going off in the mountains or something. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
So a little bit like that. Not that they. You heard what I said about the environment. I personally think that it has, mostly gray clouds with blue-green, weird, lighted clouds, floating around once in a while, sort of my Star Trek atmospheric backdrop image for Xanders. And you might be interested in these.
Yes.
Especially because they have routine travel from Xanders.
That seems very strange, right?
Right. So that's because there is in Goethe and Fuller, they are small planets with tainted atmospheres. One is 90% water, one is 10% water. The population of Goethe is in the tens. It's a company and corporation owned.
Okay, there's just an office.
Yeah, there's one spot, there's a station. One spot, it's owned by a company corporation. Law is 0.
Yeah, but there's 4 people in your office.
Well, 20 maybe.
Well,
But you see my point. Exactly. I mean, in other words, you go there, and they'll fucking shoot you.
Yeah.
They just will.
Yeah.
You can bring whatever you want, but they're ready for you. And they're owned by some company, and they clearly are up to something there.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that up to something there, that means that there is trade going on there of some interest to Xanders and its neighbors. But no, it's probably not asking very many questions. So that's one thing. Now, Fuller has no population, no government, no law or technology. Fuller is just basically this smallish planet, half the size of Earth, with a thin, tainted atmosphere and 10% water and nothing there.
Yeah, non-T-Rock.
And then the yellow one is Belmont. There.
So why are they so strictly?
It's just dangerous. There's no reason why anybody would, if you go there. Apparently, the dangers of Fuller are basically no gain, all pain, atmospheric and monsters perhaps or something. And Goethe is, shall we say, under contract, and they seem to care greatly about that.
Yeah.
so that's basically why. Now Belmont is a poor planet with water scarcity. It's got 30% water, just enough to be agricultural.
Okay.
So Pulaski and Belmont are the real breadbaskets of these two. They both draw on those resources substantially. And Belmont has a small population, hundreds of thousands, participating democracy, but also law 0.
How can you get democracy? I'm not asking.
All I can say is it's this kind of democracy.
Okay, I see.
Or you know what?
Yeah, you don't agree, you get the truth.
Yeah. Or I think today more of us rather than less of us want to blow your head off.
Yeah.
So we do.
Yeah.
It's technically democracy, a kind of Lord of the Flies way. So it's democracy if you vote. Right?
Sure.
For example, it doesn't say parliamentary.
Sure.
Participating.
One party is kind of
one party. It's just hands up, man. That's all we've got. So on the other hand, it is interestingly enough, Goethe is Tech 6. That's the in their little company corporation thing. Belmont is Tech 9. They've got some kind of really nice technological, life-sustaining, agriculture-sustaining,
makes sense.
operation there. Thin atmosphere, it's breathable, if not comfortable. 30%, it's water poor, but apparently they make it go. So that gives you sort of the setup here. These two are yes, well, these two are dominated by Simac. No, sorry, dominated by Cicero, which is a feudal technocracy. So it's like space medievalism. With Tech 9 and wait, Tech 7. Sorry, go ahead.
It's Dark Age, Space Dark Age with high technology?
Yeah.
Okay.
And these guys are their serfs.
Okay.
So they've got what's called a captive government, just like these guys did. So therefore, yeah, they're dominated here. So this is kind of a power there, and they like things their way. So,
what did the unfilled circle designate?
that there is no. Hold on, let me double check. That's with what? That is with Xander's.
Yeah.
That's no base. That means there's no base there.
But doesn't
it has a starport, which is the A, but a base is different from a starport.
Yeah. And a scout base, isn't that the triangle? So that's something else, sort.
Okay, hold on, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, I know what. Sorry, my mistake. The closed circle, the open circle is no water.
Yeah.
The filled-in circle means that there's water,
Okay.
even if it's just a little. So, the fact that we have all those people on Xander's and we have no water means that they must have some kind of high-tech way to provide it. That clearly is going to be a serious business there. That would be extremely organized, extremely maintained. Upon coming in, we have this great-looking starport with ships from various places, and as I recall, you were able to kind of come in with this yacht, right? So the idea being it's kind of sort of like we're kind of with them. I mean, we're not really saying so, but it looks like that. And the first thing that you will find is that they have on this huge plain of white asphalt, and there's these vehicles that drive out to the ships. Some of them are huge if there's lots of cargo, some of them are just passengers, and that they'll lock onto the port of the ship so you go directly into the vehicle. And so one comes out to the yacht, and apparently they have to call another one to come to you.
Okay.
And there is some sort of confusion in that they thought you were with them, and we need another one. So the idea that a scout ship will accompany a yacht is not too crazy. However, that gives us a little bit of bureaucracy to deal with.
Yes.
So the I don't think it's too goal oriented, but it could be. Let's take a peek at. We've been here before doing our bureaucracy, so.
It makes sense.
I know. Yes, it's this man pushes paper.
Admin 3.
New expertise per level of admin expertise +2. Right. So it's insane. I mean, you've got only a roll of like 4, I think. 4 or less will give you trouble. You do +6 to your roll.
It's 2d6.
Yeah. And 11 is that right? No, 8.
I have to 2.
Yeah, you have to roll
6.
2.
Okay.
Yeah, to fail.
Which is impossible with 2d6.
No, you have to roll.
Oh, I have to roll 2.
Right.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. To fail.
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
So so you are easily handling this.
Yeah.
And what this means. Now, as I say, this is a civil service bureaucracy in this high-tech place. So papers are, it's shocking how quickly they inventory your stuff and all the machine parts and things. And It's striking how they've got a form
Mhm.
for everything. You are handed identification cards, which are quickly created and handed to you. They're very boring, very much about this is your role here is to do this trade, and that entitles you to several different things. Your money is carefully calculated. You will be perhaps a little surprised to know that Corby and Marek are arrested immediately.
Oh, I wonder why.
Right.
Yes, the what charges?
Yeah. Well, you're handed a form, and the form is all about they've contributed to they've under, but it's basically an under suspicion thing, and an in absentia conviction of terrorism.
Oh,
And
okay.
so, but it's ideological terrorism. It's kind of like a terrorist mind thought crime,
Mind crime.
sort of thing. Yeah, more of a thought crime rather than actually blowing anything up.
Yeah.
And that has changed since they were here last, which is why they're a little surprised.